Huh? He left this morning. You're joining me here today, guys, at an old gravel pit that I've fished for many years. It's 55 acres roughly in size, and we're at the top end of the flood relief system. There's a sluice at the north end and there's a sluice at the south end, which dictates how much water passes through the lake when it's in flood. We've got really good winds coming in today, westerlies and low pressure pushing on the east bank. We've got 24 hours. We're going to go over there now, see what we can find. So we've had a good walk around whilst duck and diving these rain showers we're having today. And sadly, we haven't seen any shows or any sort of activity to go on. So we're going to go on past captures and the wind direction and the conditions we've got coming in. I've done really well in this peg at this time of year with similar conditions. So we're going to give it 24 hours and see what we can do. I'm going to go back to the car now, load up all the gear and get back down here pronto. Do you know what? This would be like a blessing, mate, if it come together in this peg for us, mate. So it all started for me in here, you know? The North Lagoon is a really unique lake. It's an amazing system, you know, these fish, they act like river fish as such. So when these gates open, they'll move up on the current and they'll move into these zones as like a river fish would do in the flood, or, you know, when we have rains and when the river comes up, they move up the flow towards the food source as such, and these fish do exactly the same. There's a lot of natural food out there. These fish are, you know, depending highly on Daphnia at this time of year, and throughout their spawning cycle. It's a big part of their feeding cycle in the north, you know, feeding on this Daphnia when it starts to flourish. It's a really important part of the fishing here, following the Daphnia around and the fish, you know, and they do follow the Daphnia around. Yeah, I mean, that's part of how we came to the development of the experiment as such. But obviously, you know, giving them a good food source and a nutrient-rich bait is always going to help the matter. I did start to realise that these fish, you know, they move around on the winds a lot, and, you know, it doesn't matter how much food you've got out there for them. It's such a nutrient-rich lake. There's so much natural stock for them, you know, freshwater shrimp, snails, Daphnia obviously, and all the other inverts that are present. They don't have to stick around for our boilies. Sadly, they don't. They can, you know, move 200, 300, 400 yards away to the other side of the lake and have more than enough food to feed on. And this all came from fishing on the north. I'm so happy that we sort of chose that route and, you know, really looked into using this organism within our bait. It looked fine for a take, so it was time to sit back, get some food in us, and see what the night brings, basically. Bit worried that they could have possibly pushed out, but luckily around about 10:30 we started hearing the odd show out there, so we knew it was on. We got our heads down at around about 11:30, and by 1 o'clock the right hand rod had ripped off, and straight away I knew I had a good fish on. It was prodding around out there from left to right. Eventually I got it in closer, and it started like flat rodding me down to the left. Did this about 6 or 7 times, thought I was going to lose it about 3 times. It was that powerful. I did get it in the net. It was a bit of an edgy one because there's a big reed line in front of the peg where all these shrimps have been left to grow over the last few months. It's a bit crazy, but we got it in the net eventually. Lovely grey common, one of the old ones, probably come from the river when the system's in flood. And yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. Here you go, guys. Lovely grey carp. Definitely one of the old ones, probably come through on the floods into the system from the flood relief. An amazing fish. Let's get her back.